You're absolutely right. Good evening, everyone. The time is now 6 p.m. and the Spring Lake Board of Commissioners work session is now called to order. I do ask that you silence your cell phones and please keep all side of our conversation to a minimum. And I would now like to ask you to stand and join us for our invocation and pledge of allegiance if you choose to, led by Pastor Marsh. When you're finished, will you let us know your place of worship and
Yes.
location?
Yes, ma'am. Let us bow. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you, we praise you, God, for another day of opportunity to render praise and honor to your name. God, we come, God, as a town, oh God, collectively together, asking for your blessings and your grace to be upon, oh God, the town of Spring Lake. We ask, oh God, all things be done peacefully and in order. God, we pray that all the things that are on the docket, oh God, for tonight, God, be hatched out and, just allowed to be done according to your will. Father God, we thank you, God, for this town. We ask, oh God, to continue to bless the sheriff department, the fire department, oh God, the EMS workers, oh Lord, and all of the town workers, oh Lord. We ask that you keep this town safe. Without hurt, harm, or danger, Father God, we ask, oh God, for continued blessings over the town of Spring Lake. And God, we just ask for choicest blessings in Jesus' name. We ask and we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge of allegiance
To the
flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, my name is Vernon Marsh, pastor of Red Cross Tabernacle of Praise, where our motto is "Let the Healing Begin," located at 1120 North Frank Boulevard. I'd love to have you come out and worship with me anytime.
Thank you, sir. I will now call for additions and deletions to the agenda. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to review 8A, how the boundaries for what town associated with code enforcement.
Okay. Any other additions or deletions? Hearing none, I'll call for a motion to approve the agenda. Somebody? Commissioner Laughlin?
Mayor, make a motion to approve the agenda.
Mayor Pro Tem, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion to approve the consent items, the draft minutes of the October 13th, 2025 regular meeting, Minimum Housing Appeals Board reappointment application for Ms. Katrina Bratcher, and Resolution 2025-15 by the Town of Spring Lake Board of Commissioners accepting the 2023 Appropriations Act Directed Project Grant Offer for the Mack Street and Regina Street Sewer Rehabilitation, and our quarterly reports. Commissioner Chadwick. Is there a second? Commissioner Laughlin.
Second.
Discussion? So I did want to thank the staff for making that quarterly report a lot more legible. It's much more easier to read, and I appreciate the information. So this is sent out with the agenda, so I do hope that the town will go ahead and read through our quarterly reports. It's just a bit of what's happening with the staff. These come out every quarter. And the grant for Regina and Mack Street, I know that's been a long time coming, so I'm super excited to see that we are making more progress on our stormwater systems. So, Commissioner Palacios.
Thank you, Mayor. So, if you haven't seen the quarterly report, I echo the mayor on that. You can review that. That's for every stakeholder here in the town of Spring Lake. And I wanted to draw attention to that quarterly report because part of that is an update from the police department. As we know, the police department had been called to a scene. All our first responders were called to the scene at FTCC in the last couple of weeks for what ended up being a non-event, but it was an event nonetheless. And they put their lives on the line not knowing what they were going into. And so I just commend the police department for that, as well as our fire department, everybody that showed up on the scene. And as I review this report for the police department for the quarterly report, what's great about this is you can see the increase in crime and the decrease in crime. That's excellent. I think that's important for us to know, so we can stay vigilant as citizens. As well as, I want to draw attention to the average response time. So July, August, and September, the response time for crimes, or calls, I should say, calls, continue to tick up, indicating that we're having slower and slower response time to calls. And so the point of me isn't to draw criticism to this, but it's to draw attention to it. What is causing slower response times? You know, personnel, probably. You know, other crimes, you know, or calls that are taking up time. But response times, of course, can sometimes be a life or death situation. And so, pointing that out today again isn't to draw any criticism, but to draw concern there.
I just wanna, and this could be, I don't know, but, I think weather potentially play a factor in slower response times. I know we're getting more deeper into the rainy season when we're looking into August and September, it gets a bit more. So I was thinking maybe weather could be a factor in that. That was something that caught my attention to how it incrementally went up every month. So that's again something to you know.
Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Chadwick?
Yeah, I just wanna say that I agree with Raul. It's not to draw attention, but I know like 2 months ago, another resident had the same issue about response time, and hopefully we'll continue to look into this situation and make sure that we're aware of our citizens and address the needs of the citizens. So.
Now, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries to approve the consent items. We are moving on to public comments. We have a few. Please note that the commissioners will not be able to respond during public comments. Each comment will be limited to 3 minutes, and you will have an indicator on the screen above letting you know the time frame we have left. We will begin with Ms. Lynette McNeil, our arts program for Spring Lake Recreation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lynette McNeil, and we're doing the art. We just started our art explosion over
Can you
at.
pull the mic a little closer?
Can you hear me now?
Much better. Is that better?
Not very well.
Can you hear me now?
So, yeah.
Okay. So we just started our arts program at Spring Lake Recreation Center. We do the after-school meals and snacks there at the center, and we also do it for Spring Lake Middle, and we do it for Cumberland County, Robeson County, Carswell County, Greensboro, pretty much a lot of counties in North Carolina. So with the after-school meals and snack program, it's a partnership with the state of North Carolina and USDA. And what it does, it gives the kids free after-school meals and snacks. It's just like an extension of the lunch program, but you have to think, once kids leave school, they haven't had a meal since like 10 o'clock. So when we get that data, they send us out. We usually are in the office looking at the data, but we get these numbers from police stations. We get it from DSS. And when that happens, we come out, we set up, and we bring all kind of nutritious meals. It's the 5 component meal, the fruits, the vegetables, the meal, and we're starting the program over. Well, we've been doing the meals for here in Spring Lake for about over 6 months over there, so it's been going relatively good, but we're adding more programs in the art program. There's no art program here for the kids. It's something that they highly request over there a lot, so that starts tomorrow. So we're just trying to get attention to the program. We do community feeding as well for the Spring Lake area. So we have 2 sites here, and that's the middle school, and that's the recreation center, and we're working with Manchester and W.T. Brown to make sure that the parents know that they can come to the center, and in some cases, like with bad weather, we also can deliver meals to the home, especially what's happening now with food insecurity. And Spring Lake is a food desert in the USDA program. So that means many kids and many citizens go without the vital needs of proper nutrition in this area. So I have information after I've printed out some information on the program, so if anyone's interested in it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next is John Roy.
Good evening.
Please state
Mayor
your name and address
Town
for the
Council.
record. please.
I have some pictures I'd like to, may I approach?
Yes, but can you state your name and address?
Oh,
for the
yes,
record
I'm
first?
sorry. My name's John Roy. I'm new here to town, and I'm here with my wife Holly.
And your address?
Yes, we live in Lexington Plantation, 154 Culpeper.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
sir.
Oops, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for allowing us the time to speak to you. I'm John Roy. I'm joined by my wife Holly. I recently retired for the third time at age 77, but I need something extra to earn some extra income. We decided on a nice thrift store with affordable quality merchandise. We looked everywhere in Spring Lake area to rent a building with everything out of our price range until finding the perfect place, size and price-wise, only to be disappointed finding out that after putting over $5,000 in this, that the area had been rezoned in 2014 that does not allow the type of business we hope to open. The owner of the building was not aware of this change as well as many other people we have spoke with. We have over 20,000 new and used DVDs, furniture, and other household items. If we have to move, it would cost us great financial hardship. In addition to the lost revenue to the town and our landlord towards income to pay towards his property taxes, which he has went to great expense cleaning up and remodeling his building. With all the empty buildings in downtown area, we were hoping this would be the start of other businesses wanting to come here, like downtown Cameron with its antique district and downtown Fayetteville with its mixed-use businesses. We appreciate your attempt to bring the tourists with your first Friday event, as Fayetteville does with its fourth Friday event. If we had more shops for visitors on that day willing to open their doors, people would come back. Like the old saying in the movies, if you build it, they'll come. So we're asking you, please, consider and allow us to open in your city and rewrite the zoning laws in this election year and bring the town back to the life creating jobs and tax income. Thank you for your time.
Can you give me the address for?
Yes,
North?
110 North Main. And-
110?
Yep, and we're actually 110A.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Van Sanford?
My name is Betty Sevenford, 104 Wapiti Drive. Right here in Spring Lake for over 40 years. And I would like to say this. We need more policemen. We need more. We need more policemen in this town. We don't have enough, and we need more. Okay, that's one. The other thing is, and I'm about fed up with the roads. They need to be fixed. I see so many people, once you get across that bridge or going on that bridge, going to Port, going on to Polk, they can't see the lines, and so they're on the other person's side. And then when they realize it, then they move over. Or they're too close to the ones that are going on to Polk. And then they have to move over. And that needs to be taken care of as soon as possible. As soon as possible. And the other thing is emergency. And I heard you talking about that. We need to make sure that when anybody needs an emergency vehicle, they need to be there. They need to be with us. If I get sick, I don't want somebody waiting no hour before they get to my house. And that includes everybody here in Spring Lake. And I'm serious about that. We should not be waiting no 30 minutes before an ambulance gets to the house. It doesn't make sense. So we need to take care of that. You know, we've been living here long enough, and we didn't have that problem before. People were there and waiting and taking care of what needs to be taken care of. When my husband got sick, they were there. No sooner than I got off the phone, they were there taking care of my husband. And that's the way it should be. We also need transportation for these people that don't have transportation. And I'm serious about all of that. And I do that, Mr. Black. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clifford. Mr. Nathan Bell? Yes, sir.
First, I want to thank the board for allowing me to speak with you. I'm the owner of the building that Mr. John has rented. And let me back up. There's something about it when I first bought the building there, 110 to 112. I paid $150,000 for it, paid cash for it. Come to find out that I had all kind of problems. It seemed like the city didn't want me in there. I had to take down all this stuff here, every sheet of it. They wanted to see what was up there. What did they think was up there? I called my teammates and asked them, anybody that don't have an appointment Saturday, I need you to come to the office where we're going to have a new office. I need your help. About 25 or 30 men showed up, 2 women. We had to take all that stuff down, every sheet of it, pile it in the floor, so somebody could look up there and see what was up there. I don't know what the heck they were looking for. Okay, we did it. And then we had to put it back up there. Okay, it seemed to me like they were doing everything they could, the city, the town, to keep me from one of those buildings. There was so much junk on the inside of those buildings. 110, 112 was not that bad. But there was so much junk on the inside of those buildings, that building. So I put another call out for my teammates. I need your help. And I had guys driving in 150 miles away to help us clean that place out. When we got through cleaning that place out, we had so much junk in the body, in the alley. So I called my yard man to come and move it for me. He charged me $300 to move it, that much junk. Unbelievable. And since Spring Lake is so proud of their city, they want certain things downtown. I don't understand that. I also don't understand the sidewalks that go down in front of my building. In front of my building, it's okay. But down north of my building, those restaurants, there's a disgrace. What people have to walk in going into those restaurants. You know, and I know Spring Lake had to see it. You know, and also when I bought my building, they told me that I had to have 18 parking spaces. 18. I only had 4 that went with the building. I found this out after I spent my $150,000. Okay? So I had to find more parking space, and I couldn't use the parking spaces across the street.
Mr. Bell.
Nobody parks over there. It will blank all the time.
Mr. Bell, your time is up.
My time is up?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No. Okay, I didn't say nothing about what I wanted to say.
You can always come back to our next meeting.
Well, it might be too late.
Thank you, sir.
John, why didn't you tell me to talk fast?
I will now move on to agenda item 7A, planning and development for NCGS 160D for extraterritorial jurisdiction. Presentation, Mr. Rory.
That is me.
That's you, sir.
So this is another topic worthy of conversation, especially as it relates to even some of the comments tonight in regards to what planning and zoning and development looks like in and around the lake. So commonly it's referred to as our municipal influence area, but there is no statutory provision that talks about a municipal influence area. This is just a carryover from the past, but it's commonly known now as municipal extraterritorial jurisdiction, or ETJ. So keep that in mind as we go back and forth between those two terms or those two abbreviations, MIA and ETJ. We're talking about the same thing, but there are some subtle differences in the fact that the statute hasn't been revised or updated.
Excuse me, can that be repaired? Can you fix that?
Ma'am, we can't answer questions.
The screen?
Sorry.
Can you fix the screen?
Blur.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So it's just that particular one, huh?
It's on? It's straight. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right, so let's back up for a second. What you see is an email dated March 4th, 2025. That's come to Patricia. Attaches submitted preliminary plan that is within the Spring Lake MIA. The subdivision is proposing 95 lots with 7 proposed public roads. Being within, this is why it's underlined, being within the MIA of Spring Lake, because the town of Spring Lake anticipates adopting the proposed roads and the dedication of recreation space. It is not abutting the town limits, just an FYI, and additionally, would the town require annexation? I'll come back to that. I just want you to keep that in mind, that this is a development with 95 lots and 7 proposed public roads that do not abut the town of Spring Lake. So why are we having this conversation? It's because of this whole concept of extraterritorial jurisdiction, where we can apply our zoning and our subdivision regulations, or this MIA that you commonly hear it referred to. Forgive me once again for reading to you. The above project is located along Johnson Farm Road, along the outer edge of the Spring Lake MIA. Per the MIA, sidewalks are required on one side of the road. This project is not located near the town city limits. I understand from Richard Fagan that the town decided several months ago that they were not going to take over the streets. We're not annexing the property into the town. Please confirm if the town intends to take over and maintain the sidewalks within the development. The streets are in the pavement with ditches, and sidewalk is not conducive to this type of development. Please contact me with any questions. So if you're wrapping your head around this thought process, we're asking our opinion and asking to take over 7 public roads in a subdivision that's not even near the town's city limits. All of you will be very aware of what my response will be. No. All right, we got enough roads that we need to fix right now. Why would we make our community poor by annexing a 95-lot subdivision outside of our city limits? We need to be fixing what we got in here. So keep that in mind as we keep talking about these things. This is just an overview map of the Cumberland County. You'll notice up in the left-hand corner what is northern Cumberland County in pink is Spring Lake. green is Fayetteville, all the rest is here, Hope Mills, Linden, Eastover, and so forth and so on. But the tan areas are unincorporated Cumberland County in the sense that they're not part of a municipal limits, they're not part of the city limits. Blow it up a little bit. You'll note here that the pink is still Spring Lake, but now all of the light blue is what shows up on the county GIS as Spring Lake's MIA, or what we should refer to as extraterritorial jurisdiction. Notice that there are several blue spots surrounded by pink. These are donut holes that are not part of Spring Lake, the town of Spring Lake. Note that one of them is along the Manchester Road area. We typically refer to that as SLPA property. Another one is Bragg Estates out 690. And then there's another one right smack dab in the middle of town, or two of them in particular, and this is important to grasp. One of them is the gun shop on Bragg Boulevard. Believe it or not, that is not inside the town of Spring Lake city municipal limits. They pay zero taxes to fix roads, zero taxes to take and pay fire protection, zero taxes to have police protection, but they're expecting that service even though they don't pay for it. Another one is McNeil Street. If you get on McNeil on the other side of town, you'll drive down a little portion that's in Spring Lake, then you'll go through a portion that's not in Spring Lake, that's in Cumberland County, and then you'll come back into another portion that's in Spring Lake. The portion that is in Cumberland County typically becomes an illegal dump site on McNeil Street. This is very important to understand, because not being critical of Cumberland County, but they don't come out there and force codes to clean up those sites inside or surrounded by Spring Lake. The expectation is for us to do it, not for the county to do it. You see that little red square up there? That is the property we were talking about in this first email. That little red square, look how far out or away it is from pink of the town of Spring Lake. But it's in our MIA, our municipal influence area, or what we should define as our extraterritorial jurisdiction. Here's another rendering of that. Notice all the blue, it just blows it up a little bit. There's a red circle that shows that area. Once again, see all the blue to the left? Our MIA, but it's not yellow. It's not in Spring Lake. It's surrounded, but it's not in Spring Lake. Where's this going? Chapter 42 of our zoning ordinance says that on and after the effective date of this chapter, these regulations shall govern the use of all lands lying within the town's planning and development regulation jurisdiction, town of Spring Lake corporate limits, and extraterritorial jurisdiction, ETJ. So what applies in that blue area? What doesn't apply in that blue area? We can't apply our code enforcement, junk piles, weeds, in our ETJ. We don't enforce the codes. But we can apply our zoning, some of our police powers in regards to the regulations and subdivision. And it even gets a little bit more interesting than that. Because, now here's another component. You gotta wrap your thought around this, even though it's kind of a separate pushing in the clutch and changing gears. And I'm going to talk to you about the municipal fire limits. Under the statute 160D 1128, you'll see that towns are required to establish municipal fire limits. That is not our fire district. All right, it is a specific, specified area. And in that area, you're not supposed to build wooden buildings. You gotta go back to the Great Chicago Fire, Estigo, Wisconsin, or any of these places. And here lately, I think there's been some things like Surf City or something, where you have this rapid fire spread. And you'll note there, no frame or wood building or structure. Most towns, all right, establish their municipal fire limits as their central business district i.e. known as uptown, downtown, Main Street. All right, you follow me? So as you see a building come down on Main Street, if it was established that that was our municipal fire limits, which we have not done, by the way, okay, we would end up not allowing wooden structures in that area. So you gotta wrap your thought around here. Here's 160D that says we're supposed to do something, but we haven't done it. So we need to follow that through with this and move forward to adopting true primary fire limits within the town of Spring Lake. All right, pushing the clutch, going back now, going back in reverse. We're going to talk about this municipal extraterritorial jurisdiction. This is why I brought up McNeil Street, where we can't take and apply code enforcement to this illegal dump site, because we don't have the authority to do code enforcement under the general statutes as it relates to our ETJ. We can only do it in our city limits. ETJs are established by statutes for cities, and you see it goes through here depending upon what your population is. You can go a mile. More population, you can go 2 miles. Cities have an interest in development in and around their area, because the thought process is that eventually that area will be annexed. And therefore, when you annex it, and it becomes part of the city limits, you're also annexing all of those problems in the development and things that they've done. A critical point to bring up about that is things like stormwater regulations and pipes. You know, you might be able to take into a stormwater pipe CMP out there that lasts 25 years. Or you could take it and pay a higher cost into a stormwater pipe that lasts 50 years. If we were going to annex, we would want to make sure that the roads were built to a DOT standard. They weren't dirt with an inch of asphalt on them. We want to make sure that the stormwater pipes were built to a standard to give us longevity and get a return on that, and so we're not having to take this life cycle costs associated with annexation. That's what applies when we start talking about ETJs, and the limit is based on the statute in terms of a mile or 2 miles or where it may be. However, C says county approval of city jurisdiction, notwithstanding subsection A, that section that talks about distances and population. No city may extend its extraterritorial powers into any area for which the county has adopted and is enforcing county zoning and subdivision regulations. However, the city may do so where the county is not exercising both of these powers, or when the city and the county have agreed upon the area within which each will exercise the powers conferred by this chapter. No city may extend those powers beyond 1 mile from its corporal limits without the approval of the board or boards of county commissioners with jurisdiction over the area. I can find nowhere other than an adopted map that shows a light blue color or a GIS. I can find nowhere in the minutes, nowhere in our structure where we have an officially adopted municipal extraterritorial jurisdiction. Period. Period. So, now, does it mean it doesn't exist? No, it just means I can't find it. So, if we can't find it, and we make an assumption that it doesn't exist, what do we need to do? We need to adopt it. We need to get it corrected. We need to officially make it happen. And then of course, that code enforcement question as it applies to that. So, we need an ETJ that we can exercise our police powers in terms of zoning, subdivision regulations, or whatever it may be, outside of the city limits. But it has to be approved and it has to be agreed upon, not by just drawing something on a map. Okay? It has to be something that is officially done, and I can't find any record of that, or at least the clerk can. Yeah. Sorry, just a little poke there. So basically, if you look at all of that blue area, how far out do we go?
Not that far.
Alright, now, I know you can't really see this, but if you see up there that little section in blue that looks like a subdivision, yeah, mouse to it.
I'm sorry, John.
That's okay, it's alright. Yeah, pick that one. And then just mouse, put your pointer on it, up there in that right corner. See all that subdivision up there? We had nothing to do with this development, yet there it is. Alright? About 6 months 8 months, I'm not even sure of the time, it seems to fly. We were approached about annexing a strip of land, basically straight across the street from Manchester, Millington, up above, what was then the Manchester Fire Station. This board, did not move forward on annexing that property. Therefore, they had to go to the county for, get this, rezoning that property to allow a specific use and occupancy of that property. So I inquired, well, if it's in our ETJ or our MIA, why isn't the Board of Commissioners for the town of Spring Lake hearing this case? You didn't hear it. All right, so one day it's ETJ and MIA, the next day it's not. We do not have any official documents other than maybe a handshake from 800 years ago. Who knows how long it is, how long it's been. So the corrective action is to go back now and actually officially adopt this and get county approval. Because if you don't, you have no control over that development. And without control over that development on your borders, you're losing things to like connection to your sewer system, to your water system, where it comes from. These things that are going to impact you because they can restrain growth inside your city limits if you give away your resources to outside the city limits. You just simply can't do it. All right? You don't have the resources to give away. Here's another ETJ MIA. I think I finished with that one. I'm not sure. It just shows you those the tan areas surrounded by the pink area. All of the pink area is the town of Spring Lake. All the tan area are Cumberland County. And notice that we have completely surrounded some of those, but they are not in the town of Spring Lake. So two components to think about when it comes to ETJ. One of the primary arguments about applying your police power, or in this case zoning or subdivision regulations, outside your city limits is that applies when people don't have representation. They don't get to elect people inside the city limits. So the argument that's been struck by many times, talking about the fact that yes, that may be true, but there's other ways for them to do that. And then second, we're dealing with these issues related to response and doing different things and associated things. The bottom line is, in some of these areas, you either need to annex them or just simply do not provide any services for them. It just comes down to that. All right, you can't. And I'm gonna pick on the fire department here just because I don't see the chief here. He is at a meeting tonight, and so one of the things that we're concerned with is we tax everybody in the town of Spring Lake. If I remember correctly, last time I done the math, roughly 31 or 32 cents of our tax rate goes just to the fire department. So if everybody inside Spring Lake is paying 31 cents of their tax just for the fire department, it is unconscionable to me to have them take twice as much and then send them out of our city limits for free. It just makes 0 sense to me. And so it doesn't matter how it happens, what's going to do, but you got to be thinking of that, because all you're doing is when you send those resources out of town, you are weakening your response capacity internally inside the city limits, and those are the folks that are paying for it, not those that are outside. And so that's a concern and something we have to focus on. With that, what's the ask? I expect that we should have a follow-up and officially move. One of two things should happen. We should not be opining on any development outside the town of Spring Lake, period, until such time as we have the statutory authority as agreed upon between Cumberland County and the town of Spring Lake that clearly establishes those boundaries of ETJ. And second to that, we can't do it with code enforcement, so you gotta recognize that you're gonna ride through town and you're gonna see this and you're gonna see that, but you may not be in town and we may not have the power to do anything about it. Then we're gonna have conversations about, are we gonna take over the streets 2 miles away? No. That's not a hard choice. No, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna debate it. Are we gonna fix the sidewalks 2 miles away? No. You know, we need to fix the ones here in town. I get it. I understand. That's all of the stuff related to ETJ, but a lot of this is because this is what we've done. Now, am what I say 100% accurate? Maybe not. Maybe we have an adopted ETJ. I can't find it. So the only thing I know to remedy that is to make sure that we dust that off and get it squared away now and into the future, so we don't have to keep having those questions. So why would you have something that says it's in the MIA ETJ, but then it's heard by the county, and you have no decision making on it? That's my takeaway. I think moving forward, I wanted to update you on this because we're talking about a lot of provisions related to code enforcement in town, planning and zoning, building height, Main Street overlay districts, all of these things that are functioning in our 4 focus groups, and this is just another scratch. You know, this is just another itch that we got to deal with. It's a lot of stuff. So with that, there's no ask, just know that more will come.
So should there be an ask that we at least do maybe a draft ETJ, so that we can see what our boundaries potentially look like, just to kind of get ahead of, what's happening with the county, or if we.
Yes, and I would suggest that they be limited to 1 mile.
Absolutely, well, we're statutorily limited to 1 mile for our population.
By statute, our population can get us up to 2 miles, I think.
I thought it was 25,000.
I don't know.
But if we could go ahead and give staff consent to move forward with drafting, doing a draft ETJ, ahead of the county. Or is that okay?
We need to do a vote.
No, we can, let's still go ahead and do a vote, this consent can get a little wonky. So I would entertain a motion to allow staff to move forward with creating a draft ETJ, ahead of meeting with the county or establishing if we actually have one. Oh, right, Tom. Mayor Pro Tem. So moved. Commissioner Palacios?
Second.
Any discussion? Mayor Pro Tem?
Just for clarification, what focus group is this going to?
Do you know which focus group is going to?
Yours.
Commissioner Lackman.
Mr. Roy, thank you very much for looking into this. I can see and understand that there's going to be lots of communication back and forth and some concerns, not only from the county but also from us. But this is something, I guess, that has been overlooked for quite some time and needs to be addressed. And thank you and the staff for looking into this. And let's kind of move forward with this and see what we get.
And so just something to be aware of, there is legislation right now being presented to remove control from local municipalities, their control over ETJs. It's stalled right now in committee, but there is legislation right now just debating this exact issue. So if we're going to move, I suggest we move now before our powers are, or if they are, removed. Just something to be aware of. Commissioner Palacios?
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. We need to have something in writing that we can all understand regarding the ETJs. And then I just wanted to get clarification. So that parcel of land that we denied a couple months ago, it was denied, but we largely denied it because we wanted to ensure that we didn't have to run water and sewer to that property. And with them going to the county, and the county, whether or not it comes back to us, even if they approve that, it still wouldn't have what we the reason we declined that was we still wouldn't have to go run water and sewer to the property, right?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. And in that example that you gave us for the streets, for that development, if we do not annex that property, we do not have to maintain those streets.
That's correct.
Okay, so, all right.
It's my position that we should not be annexing maintenance liabilities into the contract.
Yeah.
So,
If we chose to do that, though, for some reason, developmental fees that we talked about before could
Yes.
play a factor in that as well.
that is underway right now. We're expecting to have some type of final report for this board to look at for January in terms of development fees, system development fees. It just takes time to do it because you have to dot your i's and cross your t's. There's all kinds of impact stuff associated with that in terms of the legislation.
Would that play into annexed properties as well, for instance, that 95 lot property?
Yes, keep in mind that nobody has a right to annexation, but they have the expectation for zoning. So nothing says you have to annex it. So when you have annexation, you can have these things in terms of what the zoning is gonna be, but you don't have to be adaptions. And so, yes, if it is a development and you annex them, then those development fees, that's part of the key thing, that they have to apply equally to all. You can't just pick and choose when you're gonna do it. That's why we're having to get these things written out to make sure that they, are correct, instead of what, we have a fee schedule that says we have them, I ain't putting them out there.
Yeah. And then, lastly, first responders. So we currently, I don't know if it's just the fire only, but we don't have an automatic mutual aid agreement right now.
We have mutual aid agreements with our surrounding departments that provide mutual aid. We do not have an automatic aid. There are two different things. Automatic aid means that we provide services on behalf for the other department.
There's a motion on the floor, so I don't wanna get too far away from
This is all in regards to that. Okay, we don't automatically go through the process of the mutual aid, is what I was trying to get an answer to. Mutual aid, there is no auto mutual aid.
That's correct. Mutual aid is a mutual request. Auto aid means that anytime there's a dispatch, you respond. And you do it on behalf of the department that can't provide those services.
All right.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Okay, we are now on to, our new business, and we will begin with the mayor's report. A few things have happened, lots of meetings, lots of junk tanks. We deal with the fun stuff. I definitely want to thank First Baptist and Pastor England for inviting me out to their fall event. I'd like to make sure we send a special shout out to Lieutenant Sutton, who took it upon himself to dunk me multiple times with a big smile on his face. So thank you. Appreciate it. No, it's a really, really good time, and they made sure the water was warm, so it wasn't that bad. Had a whole lot of fun. Also got a chance to go to the Fifth Lake ribbon cutting, so we have a lot of new development happening around town. If you haven't had a chance to drive down Fifth Street to see the new townhouses called Fifth Lake, they are gorgeous, and they are setting a new standard for what we are expecting developments to look like in Spring Lake. So please stop by and see it. We had our Growth Group 4 meeting. This is economic development. Good turnout, good talks. We are garnering a lot of excitement around redevelopment and economic development here in the town. And so I'm looking forward to continuing these meetings and hearing some great feedback from our residents that is going to be instrumental in the development of our town, the continued development of our town. I also had a chance to, the mayors of Cumberland County had a chance to sit with Congressman Rouser, and we had a chance to talk about regional infrastructure, how the federal fund, we can receive federal funding to help our county. What we did learn is that the same sentiment is coming from every municipality, and one of our biggest issues right now is water infrastructure and a regionalized water source. So that's something that he is going to take back to our federal delegation, and hopefully we'll get some good news from them. Also attended the FAST stakeholders meeting. This is the second feasibility study meeting where we are discussing additional outposts for FAST transit system. They're proposing 3 locations, one being Spring Lake, the other 2 are Hope Mills and Gillis Hill Road area. And so we've had a chance to really let them know that Spring Lake is ready, and we want transportation here, and we're willing to work with them to see how we can provide some transportation to our community, to the other municipalities, be it the bus station itself, or something that is more likely, which would be kind of a park and ride for us, and it's a transit service that will take us to one of the other depots where they disperse. So we'll have another meeting coming up here soon, but just know that Spring Lake is at the table during the conversations about bringing transportation back to our community. Chairman Devier did an amazing briefing on the federal shutdown that is on his social media pages. It's also on the Cumberland County website, so I highly encourage you to watch that as he lets us know how this federal shutdown can potentially affect Cumberland County and the municipalities. This weekend, I had the chance to meet up with our UNC Chapel Hill grads who are doing the feasibility study on Lillian Black. We got to actually go and walk through Lillian Black, and they were excited with just the data that we provided them, but taking them inside and to see these young minds just blossom. They are so excited about what is going to come from this. They've gathered tons of data, and they are really excited about this project. I was actually speaking to some other electeds, and they brought it to me that they're hearing about what's happening with Lillian Black. So it's a very unique and perfect opportunity for what they're doing. So I can't wait to see what comes from that. We should be hearing back from them or hearing their full presentation in the next few weeks. They have invited us down to Chapel Hill to attend their presentation, but I've also invited them here so that they can go on record at the time and we can hear directly from them what's happening with Lillian Black. Lunch with the Mayor is on 10/29, 12 p.m. at Aloha. That's right next to REA, my absolute favorite place in Spring Lake. So please come out and join me. And remember that early voting ends on the 1st of November. There are 3 locations, Fountainhead Lane in Fayetteville, the Kiwanis Rec Center, and the Cliffdale Rec Center. You can still register to vote during early voting, but after that you will not be able to register and vote. And election day is on the 4th of November, right across the street at the Rec Center. So that is all I have, and I will give it to you, Brooklyn.
Thank you. I have a few things. First, I've been working with Second Harvest, and there's going to be a food distribution at Mendoza Park on November 6th. If you would like to volunteer, they're asking that you show up at 8 a.m. And they'll start around 9 o'clock. Second, Focus Group 3, which is 9, we'll be meeting on October 29th. Anyone is welcome to come. And we will be discussing the Main Street Overlay District as well as our 160B, because we know there's a lot of work we need to do there. Last Thursday, I went to Chapel Hill and attended a affordable housing seminar and learned a lot about some of the constraints with affordable housing and some of the some things we can do to get more of it here. And then also, as far as the shutdown, if you know anybody in the United Way has done a really good job of updating the NC 211, because like a month ago, I looked at it and there were all kinds of defunct nonprofits in there, but when they put it out there during Chairman Devier's update, that list has been cleaned up quite a bit. So if you know anybody in need, and North Carolina has 211, and they can offer all kinds of, assistance. And, for my last thing, a close family friend of mine, and a really great, tribute to our community, Miss Amy McCray Jenkins passed away this past weekend. I'm not sure what the arrangements will be, but please keep her family in your thoughts and prayers. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to tag on to what Mayor Pro Tem was saying about, making sure that we are helping with these food drives, because if you're not aware that, SNAP benefits and WIC benefits will be paused on the 1st of November. And you just heard how Spring Lake is a food desert. So we really need all hands on deck to be aware and reaching out to as many resources as you can so that we can try to close that gap. The town will not be able to do it all. So we need community partners. We need our citizens. If you have connections to a nonprofit, if you're part of a nonprofit, our church families, we need your help because we know that we have a high number of people who receive SNAP and WIC benefits in our community, and there will be a shortage here just in a matter of days. So please reach out and help us help our community. Commissioner Eichmann?
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to put out there, we got cleanup this Saturday, 8 a.m. We're going to meet at Southlands Plaza, go out and clean up the town of Spring Lake. Our last official cleanup for the town, so I just want to put that out there. Impact meeting is tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. right here in this room. If we've got anybody that would like to attend and participate, we've got the Impact meeting tomorrow night. We do have one opening. We still have one opening for the Impact. Friday, November 7th, we've got the Veterans Day event that's going to take place over at Veterans Park. All are welcome to attend. Speaking of food, on Thanksgiving, Operation Turkey, we will have approximately 1,000 meals that will be able to be handed out. We will be having it right here in the boardroom. People can come here, pick up a meal, or we do have delivery. We've got people that are willing to participate and deliver the meals. So please get with us on that so we can ensure that everyone has a meal on Thanksgiving.
And they can sign up on the website, Operation Turkey website, to receive a meal.
Yes, absolutely. And lastly, Focus Group 1 is going to be Thursday here and discuss water and wastewater here. So town is moving along with a lot of events, a lot of things going on this month. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, so we have our municipal arts allocation that's granted to us, or given to us rather, by the County Arts Council, and we appreciate them for that money that they're able to provide. So we get murals up, art, and obviously do everything we can to increase pride here in the town. And so we've been able to put up some murals. We also have a mini grant that was awarded to the town. We bought a art sculpture. We got approval from the local DOT, and that's going up to the stage, so we should get final approval on that shortly to place that, and hopefully in the next coming weeks. So John over there is really smiling because he knows that's been a pain in his side for a while. So when that time comes, we will send out an invitation to the entire town to show up for that dedication, because that'll be an exciting moment. To have our first art sculpture here in town. And we have our award that was given to the town for $4,000, and we're seeking public input on what to do with that money. So we have a survey that is available on our town website as well as our Facebook page, so that you can give your input on what you want that money to go towards. Of course, there are no guarantees, but we want community input. So we can see the direction that the town wants. So whether you're a citizen, a business owner, or you travel through town, we want to hear what you have to say. And right now we have around 30 input surveys completed. So we'd like to increase that number to represent our community. But that is again on our town website and on our Facebook page. Please share that information. Thank you.
I forgot to mention First Friday is still coming up on November 7th. And do not forget to download the Town of Spring Lake app. It's available on Apple and Android platforms. This is your way to be directly connected to the community and report any issues or concerns you may have. Commissioner Chapman.
The updates that I was going to share have already been shared by Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, so I don't have any further updates at this time.
Mr. Roy?
Oh, I didn't do anything the last meeting, did I?
Oh, no making up for lost time.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it really simple. So, over the past, month, if you will, in the lack of an update, one of the key things that we've talked about over and over again, and I wanna make sure that we continue to keep it in front of us, is that without water, there is no growth.
All right, so we can talk about a lot of different things, but if we don't have water, then there is no growth, limited growth, if you will, but no growth. So what I've been doing is reaching out to, PWC, Harnett Regional, trying to access more volume, more capacity for Spring Lake. Now, what does that look like in the future? I'm not sure. That is one of the things that we'll be talking about with the water infrastructure group as well. But keep in mind that just because we can get more, or we may get more, we still need to be able to contain it. So we still got this $80 million repair bill that we need to focus on in terms of fixing our leaking water lines, replacing our water lines. You looked at the resolution tonight in regards to the Virginia Mack Street Sewer Rehab Project. That's another $40 million. So all in water and sewer is roughly estimated at $80 million. How do you fund it? How do you finance it over time? We can't borrow the money. We can't get enough grants to pay for it. We can't cash flow it. So basically, we're going to continue to struggle, but we're going to keep trying to make sure that we have quality drinking water, and we're putting it where it needs to be, other than on the side of the streets and the ground.
That's right.
That's just a simple update on it. We just need to make sure that we're continuing to access and try to get more production and more capacity in terms of quality of water.
Absolutely. So after the guys are just on our focus group meeting, definitely got to make sure we get ahead. Mr. Porter.
No grand details other than to say that, this of course is being spearheaded by Mr. Rory, but I've been continuously working on the SLPA issue to wrap all of that up. I don't think that's going as fast as either one of us would like it, but it is going. So even if you don't always see specific updates from me or from him, just know that that is still being pushed slowly downfield, and we're trying to make it break a big play open on. But we're getting there, and people are employed to do that. And then also, I hope something goes back up, but it was really nice to see that derelict structure down. So, which I had nothing to do with, that was all y'all, so that's hats off. That looks really, it actually looks better just empty.
Just so you know, he's referring to the demolition on Main Street.
Yes, I'm sorry, I wasn't very specific. But no, that's, yeah, so hats off.
People are asking what's coming, and the answer is opportunity. So, and possibility. So just keep that in mind. If there are no further updates from the board, this meeting is now adjourned. Have a wonderful evening. Get home safely. Thank you for coming out.